World's editor-at-large, Ahmed Al-Burai. How significant is this?
Well, you remember in the BBC report, Jamie, when they uncovered a secret deal between the US-led coalition and the fighters of Daesh when they evacuated Raqqa. This comes in light of this, according to the ambassador of Russia in the UN. They do believe that some of these people who were allowed to leave, the ex-fighters of Daesh, who were allowed to leave Raqqa and Deir ez-Zor, they moved to territories held by the SDF or the YPG fighters. That is the group that is mainly backed by the United States. On the surface of it, it doesn't make any sense. Like, these groups used to fight the Daesh fighters, and now they're welcoming them. But if you look deeper, these kind of groups like Daesh, they're not a monolithic, one entity group. Like, some of them are teenagers, some of them are agents for different parties, some of them are obsessed with the idea of the caliphate, but they're not one entity, they're not reading from the one party, so they may be used from different parties.
And just help us with the international law aspect of this. I mean, it's not in their gift to pardon anyone, is it?
Of course, and that's what the United States said at the very beginning. They're not going to allow any safe exit to these fighters because they used to be accused of committing war crimes inside Syria. Now, when they're welcoming it, that questions the whole legality of the whole coalition between the United States and this group, and that's part of what Turkey is trying to convince its ally in Washington, that, look, what you're doing is violating the international law, because you're replacing one set of terrorists with another set. And that's what Turkey is trying to convince them, that the YPG is no different from PKK and Daesh.
And meanwhile, for the communities caught up in all of this, the prospects for peace look even further away.
Of course it is. Now, if you look at the wider perspective, for the Russians, now the most important is the west of Idlib. For the Americans, the most important is to keep the west of the Euphrates River away from Iran, because the rich oil fields over there. For the Turks, it is Afrin and the east of the west of the Euphrates River, because it's a threat to its national security. The YPG should be cleared from this area. For the Syrian regime and Iran, it's eastern Ghouta. So everybody is looking for its own interest, and the people are left in between.
Ahmed Al-Burai, thank you very much. The US Senate has approved a budget deal to reopen the government. A Republican